I left you with.
Hey y'all, it's me, me love and Wonderlust, back with another video. And excuse the way I look, y'all, because it's ghetto. It's real ghetto out here. I'm on a layover. Trash. I'm on a layover in DCA. This trip is another one of those early report time trips that I hate so much. They look terrible. I'm so tired. But I'm filming a video because I've been hearing around town that some of the girlies and the guysies are about to go to training. I'm so happy for y'all. Congratulations on your CJO. Did I even finish introducing myself? I'm Mila the Wonderlust, a Detroit-based flight attendant for a major air carrier. If you like what you see, like, comment, share, subscribe. I vlog about flight attendant life, mostly the layovers, amongst other things. Okay, but today I want to talk to y'all about training tips. Let me tell y'all, training, woo-hoo. There was a couple times where I was like, did I make the right decision? Before that, I was a customer service instructor, and I was like, did y'all replace me already? Because I might need my job back. Just please. So I wanted to give y'all some tips that I had. I gave some video interview tips. I gave some in-person interview tips. And now that y'all got the job because y'all rock, shout out to you. Oh, the Christmas lights just came on outside. Now that y'all got the job and y'all going to training, some of y'all in January, I wanted to give y'all my training tips. So let's get started. My very first and most important, I don't know why I can't talk, y'all. Y'all know these are early reports. It's very ghetto. My very first and most important tip is to save your money. Depending on which airline you work for, your training could be anywhere from 4 weeks to 7 weeks. Mine was 7 weeks. And depending on which airline you work for, you may be paid in training, or you may not be paid in training. I don't really know of any airlines right now that don't pay for training, but the airlines that do pay for training, there's like a set amount that they pay. It's not like what you make once you get out on the line at all. Like mine was minimum wage for the state of Georgia, because that's where, you know, the headquarters of my company. I'm not gonna say what that is. If you want to look it up for your own, just to see, it was minimum wage for only 8.5 hours a day, and that's what we got paid for each day that we were in training. And it was usually 6 days a week. There was only like maybe 2 weeks out of the 7 where it was 5 days. So with that being said, I knew in January what my training date was gonna be. So like, you guys that are going to training in January, hopefully you've already been saving. But I knew in January what my training date was gonna be. I knew that it was gonna be in March. So I picked up a second job in January at a hotel, working 2 nights overnight. And I had those checks just depositing to a different account than my regular account, and I was able to save up about $2,000 before training. So during training, I saved up $2,000 from my other job. From the hotel job. And then the last time that I got paid from my old job, because I worked all the way up until the week before training started. My last day was the Friday before training started. So I think I got paid from my job a full check the second week of training, and then I got like a partial check 2 weeks later. Because of the way the pay periods fell, that last week that I worked wasn't a full paycheck. However, I did have a couple of things that they paid me out for, like bonuses that I was eligible for, as well as vacation that I hadn't used. So they added all of that stuff to my last check. So I got the 2 checks from my old job. I had the $2,000 from the hotel, and I was getting paid the minimum wage every 2 weeks from my airline. Even with that, I was still sometimes a little short on money. And I say that meaning like I didn't have as much as I usually have, but I was able to pay all my bills by myself with no help. However, I have a partner. My partner was also helping. He was sending me money as well while I was in training for extra stuff that came up. But for the most part, I was okay. So my biggest, just save your money, because my situation is not like anyone else's. And what I mean by that was, my training was in Atlanta. I'm from Atlanta. My family lives in Atlanta. So on the weekends, I was able to get in my car and go home. I was able to go to the grocery store and meal prep at my house and then bring my food back to the hotel with me. I was able to go home and wash my clothes. If your airline has training in a city where you are not from or that you've never been to before, you may not have those same amenities. So you might be spending more money than what I spent because you may have more expenses because you're far from home. I was not that far from home. I was just far enough to where I was eligible for the hotel. I was not far enough though to where, I couldn't go home and make it do what it do. So said all that to say, save your money because you never know. My second tip ties into the first one. Prepare for after training. So I saved that money for training and I used it. I paid all my bills. I was able to pay everything without asking for help. But then after training, when I had exhausted all of my funds, I still had to wait like another 2 weeks before I got a real paycheck from flying. And then by then I was paying catch up from not having money for 2 weeks, and it was just like a domino effect of playing catch up. None of my bills ended up falling behind, but it was just like I would pay everything and then I wouldn't have anything left. So I was broke. I'm based in Detroit, and in Detroit they're very strict about like our lounge. They don't really want you sleeping in there. So I was on probation, so I didn't want to be like breaking any of the rules. So there was times like when I was like trying to get adjusted to how the schedule works, where I would be stuck in Detroit or not able to leave Detroit because of the way my schedule was set up. So I was buying hotel rooms, I was buying food, I had a lot of expenses as a new flight attendant, and I didn't have the money for it. Thank goodness, again, I have a partner. He was able to help me out with some of my expenses and some of my bills. And my sister sent me a lot of hotel money, like $400 worth of hotel money when I first started, and I sent it back to her once I got back on my feet. So not only do I want you to save money for training, but save money for after training too, because you're gonna be broke as hell as a new flight attendant. All right, 3. Pay attention to the list that the company sends you. So the company is going to send you a list, whichever company, of all the things that you need for training, whether it's notebooks, highlighters, paper clips, a bathing suit, pajamas, jeans, dress clothes. They're gonna send you, I promise you, they're gonna send you a list of everything that you need for training. If you have bad memory like me, take that list in the store with you, because again, I lived in Atlanta. I was able to get in my car and go to the store. You may not be that lucky. You might live somewhere that's super far from where you're at, and you can't just get in the car and go get something if you forgot it. You know what I mean? So then you're gonna have to spend extra money to buy the items that you forgot if you aren't paying attention to the list. Now, on the plus side, sometimes people will be there in training with you that have a car and they're willing to give you a ride. And there's always like Instacart and DoorDash where you can order stuff off of there and have it brought to you. But it's still an extra expense that you don't need when you really could just go through the list with a fine-tooth comb and make sure that you have everything. I promise you guys, everything that was on that list, I used it. Even if it was just for one day, like your bathing suit. I used my bathing suit for when we practiced ditching, which is jumping out of a plane that had an emergency landing in water. I used my bathing suit that day. I used all my jeans. I used all my dress clothes. I used everything on the list that they gave me. I used it. So go through that list. Have somebody help you with it if you need them to, and make sure you buy everything on that list, especially if you're going to be in a place where you don't have family members that can help you get to the store, etc. But that was my number 3. Number 4, make nice with your roommate. Now, that's a hard one because people are people. You have some people in the world that are just annoying. They can't help it. They don't even realize that they're annoying, but they are. My hope for you is that you don't get a roommate like that. In the event that you do, make nice with your roommate. Stay focused. Don't let your roommate in on anything that any of your business that you're not comfortable with them knowing. You just met this person and you both just got hired at the same airline. That doesn't mean that you're the same person or that you know each other. You spend 4 to 7 weeks with that person. By the end of the training, yeah, maybe you know them, but they're not your best friend. They're your coworker. So be careful about what you tell your roommate, number 1. And number 2, come up with a schedule. I had an awesome roommate. If you watched my vlogs during training, there's a vlog, I'll post a little screenshot of it here, where me and my roommate went to a Korean barbecue place. She was Korean. And it just worked out perfect. We both we both were around the same age. She was a little older than me. And we both love Korean food, and we both were very dedicated. We both had previous airline experience. She was a morning person, I was not, and I got the 6 a.m. class. So she really helped me with making sure that I was up and on time to training. And then we just kind of stayed out of each other's way. You know, like, I'm a night owl, so I would be up later than her. She had eye masks. She had earplugs so that I didn't have to walk around on eggshells because she couldn't hear me anyways. She would take a melatonin, put on her eye mask, and plug in her earplugs, and she couldn't hear a thing that was going on. I would be watching YouTube. I'd be on the phone with Bae. She had no idea. And then also, it was a little easier for me and her because, again, I was from Atlanta, so every weekend I would leave and I would spend a couple nights at home. So we had time to like be away from each other and give each other space. Again, you may not have that luxury. You may have to stay with your roommate the whole time. That's why you need to make nice with them. That's why y'all need to be cool. Y'all get with your roommate, make a pact that y'all are both gonna do well and pass training together. Make it a together effort. And again, I know you guys are not friends, you're just co-workers, but when you go at it as a team effort. It's so much easier than if you're going back and forth with your roommate. I had some people in my training class who did not get along with their roommate, and it made it harder for them. And as a matter of fact, we started flying in May. It's December. That same girl who was telling me about all the troubles that she was having with her roommate, she's no longer with my company. Side note, she came to training. She had a good time during training. She was going out, she was partying, she was liking a guy from our class. She had told her roommate that, and then when her and her roommate started to not get along, her roommate was literally on the phone with her mom talking about the girl in front of her. So imagine you're in a hotel that has 2 beds, and you're laying in your bed studying or whatever you're doing, and then the person in the bed next to you is talking about you to their mom. Awkward. Very awkward. The 2 of them got in a lot of trouble throughout training. The 2 of them were late throughout training together. They had like a love-hate relationship. It was so toxic and awkward, and one of them is not with us anymore, and the other one, I don't know if she's still with us or not, but if she wasn't, I wouldn't be surprised. Just be nice to your roommate. Make nice with your roommate. Make the best of it. Keep the goal in mind. It's only 4 to 7 weeks, and then you never have to talk to that person again if you don't want to. Or you can have like the best time and the best memories with the person that you made a pact with to make sure that you guys graduate and get your wings together. It could be one or the other. All right, getting off my soapbox. Number 6, get rid of all your distractions. And I know it's impossible to completely get rid of every single distraction, but make sure you have your affairs in order, like me. And I'm only just mentioning myself because I can only talk about me and my journey, but I made sure that I saved money before I went to training because I didn't want to be stressed out about my finances during training. My puppy, you know, like I don't have any children, but my puppy, I told my uncle, hey, I'm going to be at training 6 days a week for 12 to 14 hours a day. Can you keep her? And he kept her for me, and when I would come home on the weekends, I would pick her up. She would stay at the house with me. I would give her a bath. I would love on her, and then I would take her back before I went back to training. She was taken care of. And that still happens now. My uncle still watches her when I'm gone and I'm flying. For those of you that have animals, find somebody that can help you with your animal. For those of you who have children, get somebody, your partner, your spouse, who can take control of your children's lives for those 7 weeks. Because you need to be focused. You don't need anything else distracting you. And it's impossible, I know, guys, but the more distractions you can get rid of before you go in, if something happens while you're there, you would just roll with the punches. Okay. One thing I would like to share that I didn't really say out loud because it was very new and sensitive. The first day that I was in training, and again, if you watch my training vlogs, you can see how down and sad I was. But my boyfriend's niece unalived herself the first day that I was in training. I knew her. It was a very sensitive situation. I was not able to really be there for my boyfriend the way that I wanted to be because I was in training. So I couldn't go to the funeral. I couldn't, you know, like normally I probably would have just flown to where he was and been with him the whole time. I wasn't able to do any of that because I was in training, and it was a lot, but I had to keep going. I had to make sure that I got my wings. But I felt guilty. I felt sad. I felt confused, like, you know, why would this happen right now? You know, before that, when I was a customer service instructor, I worked virtual. So as long as I had my laptop, I could work anywhere. So I was like, why would this happen now? But rid the distractions that you're able to get rid of. The other ones that come along the way, deal with them as you have to. Yeah, deal with them as you can. All right, number 7, try to stay healthy. You are so stressed during training, and there's nothing worse than being unhealthy and stressed. And being stressed can cause you to be unhealthy. Like me, I gained so much weight in training. Oh my God, look. My second chin had gone away. Now it's bad. Because you gain weight when you first start flying. And then I gained weight in training because I was stress eating. So again, when you make nights with your roommate, you guys also make a pact to try to eat healthy together. Maybe even work out together. Because when you're bloated, when you're sore, just all the things that come with you being relatively unhealthy, it is 10 times worse when you're already stressed from training. It is. So try to stay healthy. Like I said, I wasn't working out, and I'm still not working out the way that I should be, but stay tuned for that. But I was going home and I was meal prepping like salads or chicken and vegetables. I was trying to still eat healthy. I still gained some weight for the times where I was binge eating snacks. But try to maintain your healthiness, because you need it, because it gets worse when you start flying. You're tempted by way more snacks and way more food, because you're in all these different new places with all these different cuisines. So if you can maintain your healthiness in training, you can maintain your healthiness when you get on the line. It's a mindset. So number 8, try to take some time away from it all. So I am friends with 2 girls from my training class. They were in my same class. They were not in my section. I wish they were, but they were in my class. Their names are Eileen and Lizette. Oh my God, I love Lizette. Lizette is so beautiful. She's like a little Hispanic mommy, and she's just like, I don't think I've ever met like a more real person than Lizette. Like, wait, look at her, y'all. Isn't she gorgeous? Oh my God, I love Lizette so much. But I brought up Lizette and Eileen because they made a pact, her and her roommate, to do something every weekend. Every single weekend they went out in Atlanta and they did something to get their mind off of training. And me and my roommate were just so stressed, and we were always studying and trying to eat healthy and do this, that, and the third. And I was like, dang, I should have done what Lizette did. But she's a free spirit, so I'm not even surprised. But yes, her and her roommate, they had so many pictures and good memories of them from training, where they just went out and, like I said, they got away from it all and had activities outside of our airline and their 4 walls. So make sure you do that, guys. Like, seriously, make sure you do that, because it's just really gonna help with your mental health when you get away from it all. Me personally, because I was still attempting to be healthy, sometimes when I would get home, I would just go put my workout clothes on and just walk around the hotel, just for an hour of me being outside, being in the sun, not thinking about aircrafts and city codes and all that stuff. So make some time to get away from it. I know you don't have that many funds to be out, you know, ripping up the city every weekend, but find a way, because there's even like freeways, you know, free festivals and stuff like that, depending on where you are, where you can get away from it all. All right, so, and I keep looking down because my tips are on my phone. My next tip is 2-in-1. don't be afraid to mess up, and don't hold in your emotions. So you're gonna mess up. Even me, before I was a flight attendant, I was a gate agent for 2 years, and then I was a customer service instructor for 3. And so with that airline experience, I thought, and the fact that I have trained people as well, I thought training will be a piece of cake. I'm gonna go through with flying colors, and it just was not like that. Now, I didn't have a lot of mess ups. Like I never failed any tests. I think the only time I had to redo any doors, like evacuation drills, was once. Oh, and that wasn't even in training, that was in CQ, so never mind. I never had to redo any doors. I did have to do EMVs, which is like, the pretend mock flights, but you usually are doing EMVs with other people, so the grade that you get is you as well as your crew. So I didn't have like a lot of mess ups, but when I did mess up, because I had previous airline experience, I was really hard on myself, and I was very upset, and I would be so like and that's why my second part of the tip is don't be afraid to show your emotions, because it's just a stressful situation, so you have to just like let it out and breathe, cry if you need to, scream if you need to, get mad. Listen, it gets so much better after training. Like, don't beat yourself up so much, because I promise you it's gonna be so much better once you start flying. Okay. And my last tip is to make sure you have a supportive team around you. And I did. So I pretty much sent out a text message to all my friends and family like, hey, I'm about to go through a 7-week training for my dream job. So if you do not hear from me over the next 7 weeks, that is why. Nobody in my tribe was annoyed, offended, or anything. They all said, okay, very good, we wish you good luck. When I was in training, my best friend stopped by the hotel, had dinner with me one night. Very good. One of the weekends that I was off, my boyfriend came up to the hotel, and we got our own room, and he stayed at the hotel with me, so that way I wouldn't be late to class the next day, because I think I only had 1 day off. There was like a couple times where he was home and he took me out to dinner to get my mind off of things. Yeah, my mom came, and one of my friends, flight attendant, my boyfriend, and my uncle, they all came to my graduation. My grandma had a stroke the very last week of training. She had a stroke. Okay, that was horrible. But my boyfriend was there. He was already there because he had came into town for the graduation, and him, myself, and my uncle were like making sure that my grandma was good. And then my mom flew in to take over because I had to go back to training. Yeah, my boyfriend sent me money if I needed it, or if I told him, yeah, I'm gonna pay everything this month, but I don't, I'm not gonna have that much left over. He would just send me $100 or send me $200. Just here, buy what you need, or just put this money in your account for the just in cases. Or I had a very, very supportive team. Even my uncle watching Annie for me. And even after training, like I mentioned, with my sister sending me money for hotels, or my friends that I went through training with, we were all broke when we started. So when we got to base, we would split hotel rooms with each other so that it was $30 instead of $60. Just have a support team around you, because you're gonna need the support. It is so stressful. It is so intense. It is brand new to a lot of you. Even me, with my airline experience, is a different side, being on the flight attendant side. So make sure you have someone there to catch you if you fall. So with that being said, that is all 10 of my tips. I don't have any other tips. I probably do, but those are just the 10 that I thought of and came up with. I wish you guys good luck in training. Like I said, training sucks, but it's gonna be so much better when you are out on the line and flying to all these different places and flying with your classmates and seeing the world. It's just, the job isn't for everybody, but for the people who do love the job, it's everything. Like, it's everything. So enjoy training as much as you can, but stay focused. Make sure you get those wings. I want to see you up in the skies, baby. But that's all my tips. If you want any more tips, DM me on Instagram, send me an email. My Instagram and my email is always in the description box. I love y'all so much. I wish you the best of luck with training. And my airline just started hiring again, so if you're going to interview, I will also link below the link to my video interview and the link to my in-person interview as well. And then after you go to your interview, you get your CJO, then come back to this video when you get your training date. Okay, anyways, again, I'm Mila the Wanderlust. I'm flight attendant for a major US carrier, Detroit based. If you like my content, please stay around. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on TikTok. I post more in those places, like more of the day-to-day life. And like, comment, subscribe, and share this video. Love you guys, and good luck in training.